Hello, my name is Gianna and today I'm going to be interviewing Ms. Geddes about her career and her retirement. Thank you for agreeing to do the interview. I'm very excited to talk about your career and your plans for retirement.
Thank you.
Okay, so my first question is, why did you want to be a teacher?
Well, I wanted to be a teacher because I think when I was in high school, I really enjoyed school. It was fun to learn, well, even all the way up through my elementary years too. I liked learning, and I had great teachers, and I decided that I wanted to go to college. And back in those days, there weren't too many things women went to college for. And being a teacher was one of them. And so I decided to be a teacher.
Okay, so when did you start teaching?
I started teaching 17 years ago. That was my actual first teaching. I went to school a long, long time ago,
Yeah.
but then I didn't teach right away. And then when my kids were younger, I worked my way up. I started out as an aide, so it was easier for me to, and a substitute, so I could be there when the kids needed me. So, 17 years.
How long have you been teaching? That was one of my
yes, I
questions.
know. Yeah, 17 years is it, yes. Yeah, and plus a couple of years worth of substituting at North
Wow.
School.
You worked at North School when it
Yes.
was still open?
Yes,
That's
yes,
cool.
yes.
How would you describe your experience as a teacher?
It's very interesting because every year we have a different set of students for just 180 days, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And it's very different. It's like we get really attached to a group of students, and then they move on, and then we have new students to get to know, and then they move on.
Do you ever get sad when you have to send a group of students away?
Yes, we miss students a lot. And there are some kids that if we could, go back and create that perfect classroom, there are some kids that we really connect with, and we love that.
What was your best memory as a teacher?
That's kind of hard because, like I said, every year is very different. So when I go back to my beginning years, they were a little chaotic.
Yeah.
They always are. My best years, I think in every year I have a situation where a student comes in really tentative because it's math. A lot of them don't like math. They don't think they can do math. And over the course of the 7th grade, they become more and more confident, and by the end of the year, they're feeling great about it. So those are the best feelings,
Yeah.
when they feel good about math.
What are your plans after retirement?
Well, after I retire, my husband's going to retire around the same time too. And what we'd really like to do is do a little bit of traveling and do all those chores and projects that we never get time to do.
That's fun.
Like the yard work and the gardening and the, what else? The cleaning and the painting and
Where
all
do you
of that.
want to go first?
Well, one of my daughters is in Florida, so we kind of like Florida,
Yeah.
especially in bad weather like we've been having. And another one's in New York City, so we would probably like to do that, but I've never really seen the country. I've never been to the Grand Canyon, never been to Niagara Falls, so there's a whole bunch of country that we'd like to go
Do
to.
you plan on leaving the country at all? Maybe going to someplace tropical or
Well, we've been to Ireland once, and I could see even going back there, it was so much fun. But I'm not a real happy flyer, so I'm not really sure about flying. But I am going to Australia this summer.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yes, right after school gets out. I'm going down to go to a wedding that one of my daughters is in. She's getting married, so the ceremony's in Australia. So that will be a very, very long trip.
Well, that's great for her.
Yes.
If you couldn't become a teacher, what would you have wanted to do?
That's a good question because I never really thought much of doing anything except teaching. Although I will say when I graduated from college, I liked the job I was doing so much. I really didn't, and teaching jobs were very hard to get, so I didn't even apply to be a teacher then. So I stayed with what I was doing.
Okay, so that kind of leads into my next question.
Yeah.
Which is, you answered all my questions before I could ask them. Did you have any other crazy jobs outside of education? Did you work at a fast food restaurant or something?
Well, unfortunately I did. I used to work in a pharmacy, behind the
cool.
counter. It was a very old-fashioned one, and they had this little coffee counter inside.
Oh, that's
So when I was in high school, I worked there, and a few of my girlfriends worked there, and we were behind the counter serving coffee in this little thing for probably $1.60 an hour. That was our rate. But The other thing I was doing when I graduated from college is I was a textbook buyer for Boston College in the bookstore.
Oh, that's crazy.
And the professors would tell us what to order, but then we would have to find the right place to buy them from. And it was before computers and all of that, so we had these old-fashioned machines.
Well, I guess does that make your job easier when you have to come to decide like what textbooks to get like
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, you know, you kind of get to, it was a very interesting job. I liked working in a college. I liked working, you know, with the professors. It was just a nice environment, and the students, and it was good. I liked working in the bookstore. So
Did you ever teach any other subjects than math?
I did not teach anything except math. I did become certified in science a couple of years ago, but I've never taught science, and I've probably forgotten it all now too. So it's a good thing.
So you've just always decided that math was your thing?
I liked math, but I also liked reading and English.
Yeah.
But I think at the time I said, you know, which would I be more likely to find job openings in? And not everybody likes math, and you know, a lot of people like English and, you know, reading and that kind of language arts. So I made the decision to major in math. But I did like English. I mean, I love reading, so that would have maybe been the second choice.
Where did you go to college?
Boston College.
Boston College?
Yeah, yeah. And it was good. It was a nice place to go to school. Boston's a great
That's
city,
good.
too.
Then you were just like, you
Yeah.
worked there, and then you just
Yes,
decided
I
that it was
stayed
your time.
there. I stayed there, yeah.
How many other schools have you taught at?
Just North School as a substitute, and then I came here when there was an opening, and I've been here ever since. So that was it, and I'm kind of glad.
And the final question, what are you most excited for this school year?
This school year, well, you know, I have a great group of students, so I'm really looking forward to, and every time I do something, in the back of my mind, it's like, this is the last time I'm going to be doing this, so it's a little bit sad, but I have such a great group of students. I'm going out, you know, on a bang, with a bang, basically, and so I'm enjoying everything as it comes along, and they don't really even know this is my last year yet.
You haven't told anyone?
No, I haven't told them yet, but I think I'll probably wait a little while, because, you know, then they might not think about anything else. It'll be you know, so I will tell them towards the end of the year.
You think you're gonna cry?
Oh, I'll probably cry. I cry very easily, so I probably will cry, definitely.
So, thank you for doing the interview with me. I had a lot of fun.
Well, I did too.
I liked hearing about it because you were my teacher.
Yes.
I didn't think you were going to be retiring this early, and I didn't think you were teaching for 17 years.
I know. It's been, it's not as long as some teachers,
Yeah.
but it just seemed, the time seemed to be right. And I figured, you know, why not? When my husband said he wanted to sell his company, I said, why not? Let's just do it now. And
What company does your...
oh, he works for he owns a company that supplies this kind of stuff, laminate, and plywood, and
that's
things like that.
crazy.
So, yeah. So at least we'll both be retired at the same time.
Well, I'm going to miss you, Ms. Geddes. I had a fun year.
Oh, give me a hug.
It was always very crazy.
Oh, yes, it was. I know. You've got a crazy year.
It was.
Crazy class, but...
Well, thank you for doing this interview.
Let's get that out of your way there. You're welcome. Anytime I can help you out.
Hi, my name is Nick, and I'm going to be talking about the most common New Year's resolutions made on an average in America. Only 8% of people keep these intact, but can you do what only 8% of people can? We'll start out with the most common, and that's obviously number 10, and that's to exercise more. Only about 20% of people in America exercise as it is, so there's a lot of room for people to start exercising. This New Year's resolution is done by 38% of Americans, which is nearly a third of our nation. Number 9 is still very common, and that is saying Number 9 is still very common, and it falls under the same category as working out, and that is to lose weight. People don't just work out to lose weight. Some people take pills, and others go on a diet. This list goes on, but 33% of Americans do this resolution per average. Number 8 is done by an average of 32% a year, and that is to eat healthy has a benefit of more vitamins and fiber that help prevent different diseases. Number 7 is to take a more active approach to health. This is done by an average of 15% of people per year. To take a more active approach to health means to do several things that improve your well-being and to do them constantly. Number 6 is also averaged by 15% of Americans, and that is to learn something new or take on a new hobby. Doing this will make anybody a more diverse and a well-rounded person altogether. Number 5 is done by an average of 12% of Americans, and that is to spend more time on personal well-being. Doing this can make you mentally and physically healthy. Number 4 is done by 12% on an average, and that is to spend more time with family and friends. This will increase your social health and make you seem like a social person. Number 3 is attempted by an average of 12% of Americans, and that is to drink less alcohol. 86% of people that are 18 or older drink alcohol, which is a lot of people, and there's no wonder people want to stop. Number 2 is only tried by 9% on average, and that is to stop smoking. Since 15% of people smoke, it's no wonder that the number of people who want to stop is so low. Number 1 is not exactly a resolution, but a collection of them. 1% of people try something else that was not mentioned on this list. That concludes the top 10 New Year's resolutions. Now we'll go to Angie, who has another story waiting for us about health.
Hi, my name is Angie, and today we'll be talking to you about medical advancements. There is 2 treatments that we'll be talking about, and one of them is synthetic blood. The second one I will be talking to you about is strokes, but let's talk about the first one first. Every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood right away. Every time someone dies, that blood can no longer be restored. The blood that you have in your veins is called red blood cells, but some red blood cells don't have that type of blood that the person needs. So the hospitals and the scientists are trying to make red blood cells that the type of people need. So some of them can't really find the right blood that they need or the right blood type. So they are trying to make red blood cells for people who have complex blood types. So it will be easier because if you make red blood type blood, then the person who is in the hospital or who is dying can have that blood right away. The second treatment I will be talking to you about is strokes. 7,950 people are dying per year because they have a stroke. Most people have strokes because of blood clots. Blood clots are blood that is clogged up in your brain or in your heart that can no longer be restored. When you have a blood clot in your brain, that means that your brain is slowly dying. Part of your brain is dying because the blood is no longer moving. So some cells in your brain can no longer be restored, which they are dying. If one part of your brain is dying, then most of your brain is dying. So when the cells are dying, that means that you will die eventually. So every second counts. It occurs when you have part of your brain is depriving with brain tissue and you no longer have that anymore. So the good news is that strokes can be prevented, or you can no longer have them once you have one. So next up we will be having Noah talk about new technology.
Hello everyone, my name is Noah, and today we'll be looking at some new technology. Technology is always advancing, and sometimes technology can do amazing things. And I'm going to now show you some of the new up-and-coming technology. The first piece of this amazing technology is a new type of solar panel created by MIT scientists. It absorbs light like a normal solar panel, but turns that light to heat and then back to light. And it's more efficient than normal solar panels because it gains more electricity from the light. They should be available in the next 10 to 15 years. The second piece of amazing technology are very powerful quantum computers. They will be able to rewrite encryption, material science, pharmaceutical research, and artificial intelligence. All of these tasks are very, very big and will require multiple computers from this day and age just to complete. These supercomputers should hopefully be available in the next 4 to 5 years. Now, for all you selfie lovers out there, there's a new way to take your selfies with 360-degree cameras. For these cameras, taking a 360-degree photo or even a video would cost more than $10,000 and would take up to days, even weeks. Now, people can just do it for less than $500. Because of this, the format for just plain photos could be 360-degree photos. Like, how amazing would that be? Being able to look around people's surroundings. Now, that's all I have for today, and that was the best tech conventions that are up and coming. I've been Noah, and now, off to the group wrap-up.
Hi, I'm Nick, and I did the top 10 East Common New Year's resolutions.
Hi, I'm Angie. I did most medical advancements.
Hi, I'm Noah, and I did the best up-and-coming new technology.
And Gianna did an interview with Miss Geddes and her retirement. Thank you, and this is Warrior News.
It's been a pleasure.